Well, good morning. Today is our first Team McMillan and Preston Bach meeting. The reason why we've made a format change here away from the full Blanchette group, who Craig Blanchette is our global director and he's amazing, is because, as you can see, we already have over 20 users on just this group alone. And what we were finding is that with Craig having about 20 people and us having about 20 people, it was just too many people not having the opportunity to learn and grow and share intimately with each other. So we decided we were at that point in time. I can only hope and imagine that one day those of you who decide to help a lot of people get healthy will potentially be hosting a meeting like this. And I will tell you, I've had a year of practicing and developing with Craig on the other one to get to this point. So it's a lot of fun to see this happening. My name is Alex McMillan. I'm your fully integrated business coach, which is a regional director with Take Shape for Life. This is very exciting because, I say this humbly, but because my wife Jill and I decided 3 years ago to focus on getting America healthy, all of you are on this meeting today through one of my relationships or another. And that is very exciting, and it absolutely is humbling to see how many people's lives that you represent. I had the pleasure of being at a wonderful training this last couple weekends ago with a lot of you. I think there's like 4 of you on this call who were there as leaders in Austin, Texas with Dr. Anderson. And it was moving, to say the least, and not just rah-rah moving. I'm talking about it was heartfelt and moving to connect with you at a level. And I can see that this team is on purpose to assist the hope and the health of America. And that's really what this team meeting is all about. Number one, I want to say today's team meeting is about having a little fun. As you can see, I was having a little fun, and I'm going to continue to. And it's about us being a team, and together, everyone achieves more. That's an acronym for team that I've always really come to like, but now I understand more than anything that together, everyone achieves more. Try and do this life on your own, and it's just not as fun and it's not as fulfilling. I'm talking about the tragedies and the triumphs. All of it makes a huge difference when we do it together. There was something that was said in Austin, though, that I wanted to basically edify you all, and that's to build you up. And that is that the number one player on this team is the team. And if we remember that, that your clientele that you work with and support, they are your team. They are your health family. Did you know that you have a 500% increased chance that you're going to maintain better health and live a healthy life for the rest of your life because you are now a health coach and because you're supporting other people? And that's based on, not my opinion, that's based on university studies that have shown people who stick with their health support and encourage other people. And that is downright phenomenal. So with that being said, I want to talk about some of the people on this team that have been responsible for the group that's here on this call. And I'd like to introduce them as we move forward with this team. And that is Sam Preston Bach and her husband, Harold. I'm not sure if Harold's able to make it, but Sam, if you could just give a brief just shout out and hello. And then also, if you have some new coaches that are on call that you'd like to introduce, I'd love to hear who they are.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, everybody. I love this. This is so awesome. It's really exciting that we're taking our team in this new direction. And I just love everybody that when I say everybody that we get to work with on a weekly basis, because it truly is a blessing and a gift that has been given to myself. And I think all of us, and I know we all feel the same. Some new coaches that I have on are my sister Blythe. I don't know if she's on yet because she actually was in the process of helping somebody awaken their desire to get healthy just before this. So she may still be on that call. On. Oh, there she is, my lovely sister Blythe. And then we have the lovely Marie Groden right here as well. And I'm looking, and I think we have other new coaches, but a lot of them couldn't make this time today. So do you want to hear a little bit about their story, or?
Yeah, what we'll do is, why don't we do that right now? Just have them just share just a 30-second little bit about that. I'd love to.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's start with Marie. Can you unmute, Marie?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, my husband started seeing Sam as a personal trainer about, I guess, 4 months ago. Sam, is that right? Okay, and she introduced him to Take Shape for Life, and he was doing so well, I decided to jump on in, and it has changed us a lot. My husband has lost about 40 pounds, and I've lost about 35, and as we've done that, more and more people have asked, how have you changed your life? How has that happened? You look so good. You look so healthy. You look so happy. You seem just so happy and so healthy and so wonderful. How can I do that? How can I get on that with you? So that's where I am. That's where I want to help other people. So that's me.
Awesome.
That's where I am. Sam is my inspiration. She's my mentor, my coach. She always will be. So.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet, but you're my inspiration. And you guys, what's interesting also about Marie's journey is that she had done MetaFast years ago before we ever even knew each other, lost a lot of weight, but unfortunately, gained it back. And when her husband, Brad, and I were talking first, he's like, yeah, that works, but she gained it back. I was like, that's interesting because that's how a diet works. But that's not how Take Shape for Life works. And clearly it was a difference for them too. I'm just very blessed to have you on this call. So that's awesome. And then we have Blythe as well, my sister. Blythe, will you tell a little bit about your story real quick?
Sure. Can y'all hear me?
We can.
We can hear you. Perfect.
Okay, I started in December of 2013, and I've been on program for 6 months now, and I've lost 86 pounds so far.
Wow.
And Samantha is my health coach, and she's been plugging at it for a while to get me on this, and it finally just clicked for me. And the whole support system has just been my key to getting it off and wanting to keep going. I didn't even want to be a health coach at all in the beginning, and just little by little, I just got to that change in my mentality, and I was like, yeah, I really do want to help people with this, and I know I can do it. And so that's my story.
Wow, that is phenomenal, Blythe. I've seen you on Facebook, so you're a bit of a celebrity here in the Northwest because we've been tracking your progress. And I just want to say that your testimony of just choosing to live a healthy life is going out and resonating across the country. We're nearly 2,500 miles away from you or so, or maybe even more. I don't even know how the distance is exactly. And we know about you here. So keep doing it. It's so wonderful to have you on the group.
Thank you. It's so wonderful to be on.
Awesome. That's so great. All right. Well, Sam, you guys up there in Louisiana, or down there in Louisiana, I should say, are really obviously lighting a fire. I see this crew here, and, I know if I didn't stop the banter earlier on, we would have just had us down south hoedown on here. So
that's a hoedown. Come on. I don't know what movies you're watching.
Yeah. Okay. You guys aren't quite hee-haw there. You're more like Cajun.
No.
Grill. Yeah, that's right.
We just have some Southern charm. You can take it or you can leave it.
We love it.
Actually have a fado-do, not a hoedown.
Okay.
Right.
What did you call it? What is that, Regina?
A fado-do.
A fado-do. That's right. Got throw a little French in there, huh? A little French Creole. Fado-do. I like it. Well, this is so good. A couple other people I want to introduce that are leading teams of coaches is Daniela Carulli. Daniela with Carulli Medical. You've taken the light and the lead up in the Northwest area, and I just wanted you to say hello and just introduce yourself to the group. Daniela is a regional director who has inspired executive director team, as well as other coaches who are coming on board, and she's integrating herself. So with that said, Daniela, if you could just do a little introduction here, and if you have any of your team on as well.
So I introduction. Let's see. So I'm excited to be part of the group and have been working with my husband's practice to really change health of people in our area. He's a physician, so that's been a lot of fun to really see the power in that, and that's flooded out into the community now. So we're excited to expand our reach. And do I have team on today? I have one person, Diana, actually, her grandmother had a stroke this morning, so she's not on. Yeah, so prayers for that family, please. And other than that, I've had emergencies. So Pat's had an emergency this morning, so she's not able to be on. And then my other coaches work this morning and aren't able to get on just yet, but we're working on it. So
That's great. Well, as we assist more people to freedom and as we move forward in our lives, and I'm sure that there'll be more there. I just wanted people to know you and see you since you've been doing so great and moving yourself forward, and you were there in Austin with us as well. So
yes, that was a phenomenal event. It was very transformational personally and on a business level as well. So
wonderful. All right. Okay, and so as far as your regional director team, that's who they are. It's Harold and Sam Prestenbach and Daniela Carulli, who's on board, and then you've got Diane Thompson, who is one of the call-in callers, and she's been growing a team of medical professionals, and she was there in Austin with us as well. Just wanted to say hello, Diane Thompson. Can you say hello to us? Okay, she must be off there. I've got her unmuted, but so if you do get back on, Diane, you'll be able just to chat with me.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me now?
We can, yeah.
Sorry, I was muted. Okay, great. Yeah, good morning. I'm really excited about what we're doing, and I'm working with some great leaders in health. Kathy Kendall, I don't know if she's on the phone or on the call this morning. She's a nurse, and then Athena, and being a dietitian, I'm glad to be part of something that really is having a big impact, whereas in my previous life, was like everybody else. 85% of my clients were regaining their weight, and now really changing people's lives and helping them really keep the weight off long term. So I'm really happy to be here.
That's wonderful. Thank you. It's good to have you on the team. It is absolutely a pleasure, like I said, to be part of it. One of the transformations that I went through recently just in my life, it's an ongoing journey. I don't think you ever stop. When you decide to truly, truly be authentic and to be the higher you that you were created to be, I believe you don't ever stop repenting and changing your mind and growing towards a more perfect way. And this last year has been absolutely transformational in a lot of ways. And one of the main things that I can see is I've decided to really submit myself more to the team and to just help other people find their voice and to be a part of that. So what I'd like to do at this point is talk to you about one of the main themes at the Go Global. And for those of you who don't know, Take Shape for Life is really a way of living. It's not just a company brand name. Think of that for a moment. Take Shape for Life. It's not just some external place. It's actually you. You are taking shape for life. It's an active part of what you do. And so what they've done as an organization, and think of it, an organization as an organism that is growing and moving and evolving, they've listened to us. They've listened to the leaders. We're a field-led organization, which means us as health coaches have the opportunity to give feedback and have a voice into what happens on how the company grows and how it shapes and forms. That's so great. Each of you is an independent owner of your own business. That's pretty awesome. Many of you probably didn't even think that. I'm a business owner. Oh my goodness. Which means you have the ability to set the destiny of your future, and you have the exact same business that Dr. Anderson has. And if you haven't understood who Dr. Anderson is, it's pretty phenomenal. But he built his presidential fully integrated business leader business just the same way that all of us have the same route. He didn't have any special perks or anything else. He went out and started talking to people, got a person healthy, helped them become a health coach, and they have their title not because he's the corporate guy who started the company, but because he started it as grassroots. And every single presidential global director or any regional or any title executive director has built that through relationships and the people that they love and care about, or just people who have heard about their transformational story and care about. And that means each of us has that same business. We have the same tools. And as a matter of fact, we have it a little easier, if you will, or simpler than they had it, because back then when they started this, they didn't have the Habits of Health system. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have this technology of Zoom meeting. All they had was a meal replacement that people were eating and losing weight, and they were excited about it. Do you want to join me? And now you see that we've evolved to where we have the Habits of Health system to integrate into our life so that we can truly become a healthy person and think healthy and have a healthy self-image. And we have team now, we have community, we have the bio network of support. There's so many things, and I don't want to sit here and recap all of the great things we have available, but now faster than ever and more simplified than ever, we're able to help people come on board. And I've just seen the fire and the growth in you all. I've seen how many people are starting to join us. And I really believe we're at that tipping point where we're going to start to see, not just in your little pockets where you live in Nevada. We see you down there, Carrie McKendall and Sam McKendall. You guys are amazing. Not in the pockets in San Diego, Israel, and your crew that is growing fast. And now you're spreading yourself over into New York. That is so awesome. And in Louisiana, you guys, you're a force to be reckoned with, amazing, a hurricane of health, right? And all the other areas, and we see you in Spokane, and we see you there in the Tri-Cities, Sonia, and just all of the people around in the different areas. You're growing because we now realize that we don't have to keep this beautiful, amazing gift to ourselves. So what's happened is that they've simplified the organization so that you don't have to focus on the business side and all the organization side as much, and you get to focus on the relationship side of things. And that's huge. So now all you have to do is be somebody who's getting healthy, be a friend to others and say, this is so great and fun. Do you want to join me? And if you try and complicate this by being a scientist about food and somebody who's going to try and discredit all the other diets out there, you're going to confuse what this is about. This is about linking arms with people and saying, this is so great getting healthy. It's simple. Do you want to join me? So with that said, I want to have us unmute for a moment, which could be chaos because some of you guys are talking on the other lines, and I'm going to unmute, and we're going to see how many of you are actually listening for a moment. And I just love to hear some of your feedback on what you think about keeping this simple and why you would want to do that. So please do share. Jump in.
Well, oh my gosh. I think what you're talking about is so perfect because I was just telling Harold yesterday, we are just so excited and full of people's lives changing in whatever way it might be, added income, added health, helping others get healthy, that I'm now at this point, I don't even see meal replacements. Like literally, when I talk about this opportunity with a pre-client or a pre-coach, I see a person that I value, that has goals, and I see a vehicle of helping them achieve it. I don't even see meal replacement. It's like, oh wait, you want to know how they taste? Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. But yeah.
I love that, Sam, because I think that's one of the things that I find happening also is really being able to help people focus on their goals and what's the best way to assist them to get there. And there's so many aspects to it beyond the meal replacement, and there's so much else that happens in a person's mind and heart along the way that that the whole meal replacement piece is just one small little catalyst to get the jump start, and that's about it,
Absolutely.
Alex, I would say for me that keeping it simple keeps it easy for people to relate and take a hold of and make sense. When you confuse things, just kind of it gets overwhelming, and a confused mind doesn't take action. So if you kind of overwhelm them with so much stuff, their mind can't comprehend that or maybe make sense of it, so they don't move forward. And so when they don't move forward, it's kind of a lose-lose situation instead of a win-win. When you keep things simple, then we can kind of lock arms and move forward together.
Absolutely. A confused mind doesn't do anything. A confused mind doesn't take action. And so if you're saying to yourself, I'm confused, then that's a really good sign that you want to take a deep breath in. Everybody real quick, just take a deep breath in and let it go. Let's do one more. Deep breath in and let it go. And just remind yourself what your purpose is. Just say, what am I doing? And just say that. What am I doing? Focus back in on the vision of what you're doing and say, what was I doing next? What was that next thing? And if you just from that little stop, challenging yourself and identifying what you're going to do next and then choosing it, can't get the clarity, that's a great time to call your mentor, your business coach, and say, hey, I need a little focus time. And what I think successful people do more than others is they do stop. They do challenge themselves and they reground themselves on what matters most, and then they make the next choice, just the one next choice. You don't have to figure out how to build Rome, and it doesn't happen in one day. You just have to know where the next stone is that you're going to put on the path, right? And that's it. And if you can't find that and you don't know which one, then that's go to your mentor who's been before you, and that's why this business is simple. And I will tell you, as much as I say that, the reality is you can only see that sometimes in hindsight. Would you guys agree with that? That sometimes you can only see the miracles and the simplicity.
I didn't know you were here.
Oh my gosh, Alex. This whole journey, oh my gosh. I look back and I always say, when I look over my shoulder, because literally when I look over my shoulder, that's how all the even negative stuff at the time that you're like, I don't even know, why is this happening? Good stuff, bad stuff, it all culminates to where we are today.
Mm. You know, your worst tribulations will be your best triumphs if you'll let them. Mm-hmm. They absolutely will. Well, the worst victimization you've ever had will become your greatest victory. And that's tough to think at the time when it's happening. I'm not even saying you can even fathom that at the time. But in hindsight, think about this. The most ultimate leaders, some of you, your savior, are the people that have struggled the most, that have overcome. They've become our biggest lights and our biggest examples for why we live. You know what I mean by that? Anybody connect with that? People who have struggled have become like a brilliant, bright light when they've chose to stand in that. And that's what you can see from this. So does anybody else have any takeaways that they want to basically share about just why you're doing this, or the simplification, and why it's important to keep this really, really simple versus confusing? Okay. So what I wanted to also bring out was another guiding theme was called aim to stay. AIM, aim. Now, when you think about taking aim, right, you think about moving that bow and arrow onto target on purpose. And of course, the goal isn't just to aim, 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 aim. What is it you need to do if you're going to be effective? You've got to let go. You have to let go. So a lot of us, we are finding people we'd love to support and get healthy, but sometimes we're not letting that go and sharing the gift of that health, right? So we're just busy aiming. Ready, ready, ready. And what we want to do is we want to fire. We want to take the shot. And the reason why is two things. Number one is you will miss 100% of the shots you never take. That's a guarantee. Okay? Don't take the shot. You will always miss. Number two, if you take the shot, someone will see that you care enough to put it out there. And even if they're not ready now, they'll know that you exist and that you're a light that they can grab a hold of when they're ready. If you wait a year to share your amazing that is happening with you in your life, it will take the same amount of time for them to come around than if you do it now. And I find with this, in the leaders, I'd love to hear your feedback on this. How many of you have people that took 2 months, took 3 months? As a matter of fact, this will be a better question. Please, somebody on the line, unmute yourself and tell me if you took longer than 2 months from the time someone shared this with you to say yes and go ahead and get started. Is there anybody on here that took more than 2 months to say yes?
I'm not sure if I took a full 2 months, but I know it was at least a month, if not longer.
Okay, so a month or if not longer?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was originally, it took me 2 years, by the way. Okay. So I'm glad somebody followed up with me and stayed in touch, and I'm glad I did some research. Anybody else? I think Sonia,
I'm not sure how long.
What's that? Who's that, Blythe?
Yeah, that's me. I'm not sure how long it took me, but I think it was years, actually.
Yeah.
It took me at least 2 or 2.5 months. How many telephone calls did we have, Alex? Like 5 or 6. And I kept expecting you to convince me of what I didn't, wasn't I smarter? Didn't I know more? So it took almost an unlearning to allow it to just have a little faith, try something new, and it does. There's a lot of walls to break down in people, but when you know somebody and they know, that's the relationship component. It's like, I knew you weren't going to try and sell me some kind of goods, so I just had to, at the last, give up and go with it. And I think that's what we're really looking at, is allowing people to see that it's not it's not like all the other things that are out there, a program that they just want your money first and to sell you a product. It's about the entire relationship along the way and how we all help each other.
That's huge. And so if we'll do that, if we'll take AIM, okay? So I want you to imagine here, you're taking AIM. And AIM is an acronym, and it's a great acronym, and you want to write this one down if you haven't heard it already. AIM is Awaken Intrinsic Motivation. That's our role. Our role is to help awaken people's intrinsic motivation. And intrinsic is the internal things that they want because they want it. Not because they're just excited about your transformation, but because they want some of that. They want to feel that, and they have a little bit, and we help awaken it by giving them a little hope, by sharing our story, by calling them up and saying, hey, you know what? I'm super excited. You got a moment? And they say, yeah, what's up? And you say, oh my goodness. Well, I'm not sure if you know this or not, but Jill and I, over about 3 years ago, lost 60 pounds together. And not only have we kept it off, but we've been helping a lot of people otherwise transform their lives. And I was wondering if you'd be okay if I sent you some information about what we're doing. That ability to share with somebody, and it doesn't have to always go like that. I know there's different scenarios. That is taking AIM, awakening intrinsic motivation. And that takes time and follow up and follow through. And there's a super simple process to do that. And you want to get really good at that. The other thing is that you've got the next part. You don't want to just AIM, awaken intrinsic motivation. You want to help people stay, right? What good is it if we go ahead and get somebody all hot and bothered and excited and they're ready to join us, but then we don't help them stay? A lot of people have done the yo-yo diet thing. A lot of people have done the get pumped up, motivated thing, but then fall away. The stay part is helping them with the strategy, the tactics, the actions, and what you, the YOU, is going to do to help support them along the way. The strategy is the plan of Take Shape for Life that we have with all the bio network of support, the 5-in-1, the support that they're going to get, the habits of health system, The tactics are going to be the specific way of calling them up, leading them to doctor's calls, having them come on a Support and Celebrate Facebook page. And if you're not on the Facebook page, please ask your business coach or your coach to put you on. And if you have clients who are not yet on the Support and Celebrate Facebook page, please help them on. And if you have people who aren't on Facebook, so be it. Don't focus on that. The people that are on Facebook, get them on there and let them interact in the community. Those are great tactics to help someone integrate health. And what's cool about these kind of tactics and these kind of strategies, it's all about them. It's all about their awakened intrinsic motivation. And the A is the actions that you're going to help them take and that you're going to take as a coach to keep moving forward, and your involvement in it and the reason why you are doing this. So stay is STAY, strategies, tactics, actions, and what you are, your part in that and what you're going to do to help move yourself forward to do that. So we're going to simplify everything that we do and teach and coach through what's called AIM to Stay, awaken intrinsic motivation, and then use the proper strategies, tactics, actions, and what you're going to do. The reason why I've repeated that multiple times on this is because for a lot of you, I know that's not familiar yet. And I want that to become very, very part of who you are. The word familiar is a nice word. It's basically from the root word family. And when you get really familiar with things, they just become natural, a part of who you are. And you can speak about them fluently. You don't need to use this terminology with your clients, by the way, okay? They don't really care about aim or stay specifically. They might care about being awakened and having intrinsic motivation. All they want to know is that, hey, they're going to lose some weight, start feeling better, and they can keep this going for life, right? So that's key. This talk is for you as coaches to understand that this is what we do. So before we move on into our next segment, I just want to say that you're going to see the way we help you go from basic coach to senior coach is going to really be refined and simplified for you. And we're going to be, as business coaches, committing to inspecting your basic systems and your own intrinsic motivation so that you are fired up about moving forward and doing it in a way that you feel is simple. Just simple, and have some fun with it. And then for those of you who are senior coach and above, helping you move to executive director and really helping you become fully integrated as a health coach, getting certified, bringing a certain amount of people around you that you would like to help. And that's for those of you that want that. Not everybody wants to move on and have that, that Take Shape for Life be part of that picture in their life and the financial freedom that it can offer and all those things. So those of you that do, raise your hand so that we know who you are and we can add you to the next Facebook group and the next level of support. Israel, do you have a question? And Gina, you have a question, please. Oh, you're raising your hand.
No, I was just saying, man, I want to go all the way. I mean,
see, okay, got it. I'm so focused on
part of the path to get to presidential director, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's a milestone. I love it. Yeah, you have a big vision, Israel. Israel's got a big, huge, audacious goal. He's got what we call a BHAG. Big, huge. Some people call it big, hairy. I think hairy sounds gross. Audacious goal, but it's big, huge. You have a huge goal, man. You really want to change the face of this world, and you have your team number one. That's your family and your Lord as a primary focus in your life, and you want to be free. And I love that, and I know your story, and so know the people you bring on story. Know your client's story. Know it so well. You should be able to tell us all each of your client's story off the back of your hand. What's beautiful is, and I have to admit this, I don't know all of you coaches that well because some of you are so brand new, but I guarantee you I'm going to be learning your story very quickly because each of your coaches, I've said, please introduce me to your coaches and tell me their story. So that's it. And I pass that on to you. The torch is on to you about finding out people's story. All right. So it's not like I'm excited or anything about what's happening here, right? Okay, so I want to pass the torch. Any last questions before we move on to our Take Shape for Life University? Well, Sam, I think, are you taking off? Do you have to go, Sam? You said bye. Oh, that was Sam McKendall. Is that you that's taken off? Some Sam said bye. Oh, you were probably saying bye to somebody else who had to leave. I'm going to.
Yeah, Nicole had to jump off. I was saying bye to her.
Got it. I'm like thinking bye.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Good deal. And so, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to move to a segment called Take Shape for Life University. And this is where what's great about this is that you as coaches and you can invite your clients to share this. And just so you know, we have a couple coaches on here that were clients that I had share on Take Shape for Life University. And part of that is what helped them to decide to pay their health forward, which is really cool. And so with that, we are going to have some of you share. So Sam, do you have some people of your team who are lined up to share on any parts? And let's see if we can keep this to about 3 minutes per share. And what I'll do is I will hold up on the camera a little 3-minute warning, a 1-minute warning sign, and then a time's up sign when you get there. And so, yeah.
I sure do. Blythe is covering the Habits of Health call for us today.
All right, and let's unmute Blythe here. Let's find you. Gotcha?
Hello.
All right.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Good. I got my kids in the background, so if it gets loud, I'm sorry.
No worries. Go for it, Blythe.
So the Habits of Health call was what has helped you to continue to climb the mountain of health. And for me, it's been the complete support system that I have in Take Shape for Life. In the beginning of my journey, I was a little reluctant to use all the tools that I have. Like, I didn't want to have to call my coach every week, even though she's my sister and she's great. I wasn't very social about it. And getting on webinars and listening to calls, I just wasn't really excited about that part of it. But once I noticed that after talking to my health coach every week, I felt empowered to keep moving forward. And I liked that feeling. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? So I just got into it more by posting my journey on Facebook. Actually, really frequently, I did that a lot, just little milestones and connecting with other coaches, and the 5-in-1 MediFast meal plan and the Habit of Health books. I listen to the support calls when I go on walks. Like, all of this has been my go-to thing that has helped me, because in the past I tried to do it by myself. And every time I tried doing it by myself with my own willpower, it was just fleeting. It never lasted. I always ended up binge eating or just going back to those bad habits that I wasn't even aware that I had. I just thought that was the way I lived. That's the way people live, right? You don't know any better. So through this support system, I've learned that there is a better way of life, and that without my support system, I would fall, I would fail, and that I need it. I need to have people to be accountable to. And so for me, it's just, going at it alone is not an option anymore. So that's been my, and then the last one of my support system is actually becoming a health coach myself. So all of that has guided me to wanting to become a health coach and continue in that accountability and continue to be a part of the support system. Mm. It's the key in successfully climbing my mountain of health.
Mm. That's so wonderful, Blythe. You know, just hearing your story about why you're moving forward, and you're right at your time, so that's great. Now, did you say, Sam, that she was covering the Habits of Health call as well, or was that pretty much her recap of just identifying herself in that call?
No, well, that was the Habits of Health call, and what he talked about was the different levels of support and why it was important.
Wow,
so.
Blythe, you know what? The reason why I had to clarify that was because you shared it so well that you could not tell that you were sharing the call, but you were just sharing your story and your transformation. And I just want to say, not to put any pressure on anybody, that is a great way to share a call. And the reason why is you're sharing how relevant it is to you and how it is to other people. You're not just recapping, and then they said, and then they said, and then they said, but you're saying, I loved how they talked about this because that's useful for me as an individual. So I just want to open that up. Does that make sense? That when you're doing a call, you want to say it's great. Now, the doctor's call can sometimes be a little harder to do that with, because they're talking about a disease that maybe you don't have or something else. But the Habits of Health call, the leadership call, those are calls where you can kind of take them on for yourself and do that the best you can. So wonderful, Blythe. I was like, oh my goodness, is she actually recapping that like that? Wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So Sam, I think you were going to cover the webinar. Was that right?
Yes.
Oh, before you do. Okay, this is super important, guys.
Okay.
Take notes. Like, seriously, get a journal out or piece of paper. And when you hear something, like, go, oh my goodness, put an A next to it if it's an action item. Thank you. Put a checkbox next to it if it's something that you want to do, and put a date and a time as a goal of when you're going to do that by. So if you get something, do it. And the second thing is, if you think of a client when you're listening to this, that, oh my goodness, this client or this coach would benefit from this, write their name next to that information, and that'll save you a ton of time. Okay.
Yeah, so I watched Brad Miller's presentation, and it was called The Big Thinkers Club, Becoming a Pro on Your Path to a Large Integrated Business. So, you know, this presentation, first of all, this was really great. It was actual in on-site training that they did. And so there's actually a lot of little nuggets in there, I think, but just questions and stuff that maybe didn't pertain specifically to the PowerPoints that he was using, but things that I picked up along the way that I was like, wow, well, that's interesting. For instance, how they started on the note of somebody was asking about how to approach like personal trainers. And it's kind of funny because we're not really that different from everybody else. We're people. And one of the key things, I think, when you're thinking about people that you want to help in whatever way, regards to health, regards to healthy mind and healthy finances, is realize, take away the title, take away whatever it is that you think that they are better than us or know more, and just ask yourself, well, is this person not a person? Does this person not have needs and desires and goals? And go to the heart of that person first, and not to their title. And so that was something really interesting that he addressed first thing in that presentation. But when we go on the path of thinking of becoming a pro on your path versus maybe treating this as a hobby, I want to go actually straight to something he said that was just really great. The number one business mistake is not focusing on other people's goals and not offering the program and the opportunity enough. So wow, this whole presentation then really centered around that one thing. Am I an advocate of other people's goals on a regular basis and thinking about that first? And am I offering the health program, and am I offering the business opportunity? Okay, so now then when he went on, he gave some really great practical things of how to do that. I'm sorry, my little girl's in the background.
I love it. Go for it. Yes, that's great.
Okay, hold on, baby. So he broke down like the five spokes of a Ferrari wheel, which I love. Okay, because we want to get our businesses going fast, right? So he talked about client building, client support.
I'm going to stop you for a second just to make that relevant. Okay, so we obviously all don't have a Ferrari with 5 spokes on a wheel. Okay, so he said that the 5 things that drive your business to go forward. Yes. Right? So clarify that, because not everybody has seen that analogy.
Yes. Okay. Centered around not making that one business mistake, right? So these are the actual things that's going to help us focus on driving our business forward. Correct. So client building, client support, pre-coaches, new health coach building, and coach support. I'm coming. I promise. Okay. Sorry, guys. Perfect. They have perfect timing, don't they, toddlers? Like, it's
I love it.
Awesome. So those quadrants, when you spend most of your time there and ask yourself, what can I do to build up in the areas of my business, that's going to naturally drive your business forward. Questions to ask yourself on client building, are you talking to somebody new each week? Maybe each day? What does that look like? If you're overcoming that obstacle of, like, say, going to somebody and saying, hey, have you heard about Take Shape for Life? You look like you could get healthy. And it's not even like that. It's just about talking to somebody new each day. So when they actually started making it very practical, how are ways that we're going to do that? Okay, how are we going to focus on client building? How are we going to focus on support, pre-coaches, health coach building, and coach support? Well, is it any surprise that they actually showed the monthly success tracker? And you know what? I love that tool. That one little tool right there is actually the perfect way of managing your efforts on these five quadrants right here. And why? Because there's sections for all of it. So raise your hands, guys, if you've actually seen or started using the success tracker.
I have it up on the screen right now. So
yay.
For those of you who can't see this thing right here, yay.
Yes, that is an amazing tool. And it is crazy how simple it can be to actually start tracking your efforts in those areas with that one little sheet. It's so anyway, he said, when you zero in on your target, more people get healthy. We need a tool. So it's, if we wake up, I know one of the mistakes I personally made in my business earlier on was actually saying, okay, I want to help 5 people get healthy this month. But then I never had any means of tracking it or being on purpose with it. So having a tool that helps you track and be on purpose with what you say you want to do is the difference between saying what you want to do and actually making it happen. So just to leave you guys with this, here's some things that he personally does to also help make sure that he stays on track. Not just the success tracker, But he says every day he gets up and he asks himself, who are 2 people I'm going to drip on today? And who are 2 people I'm already supporting to health that I can send some love to? And then the last thing was every day adding 2 people to his share list, which also on the new tracker, there's actually a hole on the back. You can fill in a share list, which is pretty incredible. And I'm going to finish on this note too. Another really important tool or strategy, actually, or action step in helping people move through those elements is actually using our support. And how do you get somebody started, and how do you support them through their journey? And he had a big old picture of the Habits of Health system. And that system right there is actually why I don't even see the meal replacements anymore, because we start off first with coaching somebody, and then they eat their first meal replacement. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I've got a little one waiting for me to go wipe her. Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh my goodness. What a way to end a share. All right. So as you guys can see, there's a lot to cover in that. I would encourage you that's definitely a webinar that is great for business coaches who are mentoring people. For those of you who don't know what half the things she was talking about were, as far as dripping on people and the 5 spokes of the wheel and the My Success Tracker, if you're not at senior coach yet, we don't really kind of get into those basic tactics yet, okay? We're just trying to help you get used to telling your story, practice partner calls, 3-way calls, and then once you get about 5 people on board, we're going to have you start tracking your actions beyond that. But right now, just clear your head. For those of you that have moved up to senior coach and that are ready to move on, you do have to start tracking this. And the reason why is that you want your life to be simple. And if you don't have a system for this rhythm that you're going to get into, you'll feel like these plates are all going to fall at the same time and you're running around trying to spin plates, and you don't want to do that. You want to love people and support people, and that's really what that's about. And I'll just take the mystery out of the word dripping on people because it's kind of a weird sound if you're not used to that. It just basically means touching people, giving them a little bit of information, a little drink of water, a little sip, but not fire hosing them with too much information before they're ready for it. They're thirsty. You give them a drip and they go, ooh, water. I want more of that. I want more of that. So leave people wanting more after a conversation with you, not trying to gasp for air because they can't get one breath in. Does that make sense? And don't get me wrong. I oftentimes have to remind myself of this. And so with that said, I'm going to move on to the next person. Okay. So who did we have from Israel? You are ready to share. Well, let me just double check and be respectful for time. Sonia, do you have to go anytime right soon? Or okay, we're gonna have Sonia just do her quick share because I think she's out the door here in a moment. So there you go, Sonia from the Tri-Cities. 3 minutes. Sam burn up a little much time on that one, but we'll move forward. So let's go.
Shaking in my seat. I was like, I've got to go. No, thank you very much. And thank you so much for giving me a homework assignment last night. Like, was it after 8 o'clock or something?
Yes.
It was a challenge for me. And that's what I looked at. I went, oh, look, I have something that I can do at 5 a.m. I'm getting up.
All 3 people that I had sharing are all jumped on a plane flight to somewhere and all this. It was great. It's all good stuff because they're meeting people. But I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. No, this is good. I looked at that as a wonderful challenge, as an opportunity to grow a little bit more. So the leadership call that I listened to this morning at 5 was really great. And I wanted to tell you guys about some of the points that I found that were so valid, especially for me and today. And hopefully the sharing will ring with you. One was being a trilliologist all of the time. And that is someone who shows up every day and does not let the distractions of their life get in the way of their future building and their business building and their opportunity to speak to people. And I can tell you that from my personal experience, one, I got the notice very late and I was happy to jump on. And if you can see me, if I look like I'm swatting flies, I have 54 employees wandering past my office trying to distract me all morning. So I'm going like this, and it's one of those things that I have to take a look at that and go, you know what? This is the most important thing I'm going to do all day. And I may just talk to a few people who are already miles ahead of me in this business, and this wonderful opportunity to help people get healthy. But I have to take that time to just say the outside distractions are just not as important as what my true intrinsic motivation. I love that they've used that so much, because it's just my heart. What does my heart really want to do? Mm-hmm. And so being allowing yourself to say, I don't care what distractions come up, I'm going to go out there and do what I can to help other people. The other thing that I learned really helped me a lot was to listen, to be the listener. I've been a coach for years and years, and to be the detective of intrinsic motivation. So being able to pluck out those wonderful things by listening, by being patient, by not being distracted, and by allowing the ice to break based on being able to notice someone's need before they notice the need in them, and being able to, being that listening ear, help them find that place that they would like the help. Because if you listen, people are asking for help all day long, every day, and what they're doing, it may be to slow down their lives and take health in a different perspective. It may be losing weight. It might just, it may be all different types of things that we can do with Take Shape for Life to help them to achieve their goals.
And that is good, Sonia. You hit it. We're at the time.
Awesome.
That's great. No, and I just really will say, I just want to resonate with what you're talking about. Finding out what matters most and not getting distracted. If we just take that one thing from what you said, imagine how powerful that will be for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
It's hard to even say anything else behind that, because there are way too many distractions. And when your brain gets off on something else that really wasn't the priority, the only way I've found to do that is to write down what matters most on a piece of paper and put your top priorities down so you can see what they are. And then if those things are getting distracted by other things, talk with your business coach on how to set up your life in such a way that you actually have that time for yourself. So very good. So cool. All right. And then now we've got Israel Lobu, who's going to share, what was it, the nurse's call?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Alex. I'm excited to be on this call. You know, I'm not quite sure if they did this for a reason or not, but I feel like there's kind of a little redundancy with the nurse's call and the Habits of Health call, because the main topic was support. And I know I dialed the right number, but anyway, what I'll do is just kind of just give you the fine points, obviously, of that call. And like I said, it was about support. And, you know, I think the main reason why we're on this call is to be supported so we can take our business to the next level as health coaches. And that's really what you guys are as far as health coaches, is to help take your clients to the next level. And really the key point of that is the support that you provide to them. And so I know you guys have probably all seen that, but there's a bio network of support that really is the key and the difference maker for someone to be successful. If they don't have the right amount of support, then basically they're just kind of left to it on their own. And that's why a lot of other programs fail, is because they don't have the support they need to help move them forward. And so you as a health coach, if you look at that, there's your client right there. And then what encompasses 360 around that client is the support that you provide. And there's also the other layer of the bio network of support. So that's really, really key. So that was the main topic, is the bio network. And then also the Habits of Health book, Dr. A's Habits of Health book, chapter 18, which talks about the support system. And really, that is really the key and kind of the magic sauce that basically takes your client to a whole new level and achieve the optimal health they want to achieve. And then let's see, just basically acknowledging in that person the help that they need and be willing to make that change. You know, I mean, I'm sure you guys have probably all had some of these clients, is you can't try to drag them kicking and screaming. They have to be willing a participant to want to change their life. And hopefully you find that out when you initially are supporting them and talking to them before they even come on board to be a client with you. You're gonna uncover those things. And then when you uncover that and fully see where they want to go, you're basically lock arms. And at that point, you're supporting them on that journey. Let's see. They also talked about lesson 14 and the Learning a Longer Healthy Life book, the one with the feet. Lesson 14 really talks about support. One website that they gave that I haven't even actually accessed, and I know Alex has probably provided that to me, but a lot of stuff going on to all the resources that we have is clienthealthtips.com. That's another layer of support or something that you can provide to them to help them support them along the way. And that's basically it. That was basically the whole call. They had a couple questions on there, but that was basically the whole premise, is just really support and providing that level of support so you can move them and help transform their lives. That's what this is all like. That's what this is all about, is Take Shape for Life, not take shape for a month, not take shape for a week, but this is a lifelong comprehensive program to transform your life.
Wow. That's huge. I love the way you just showed the bio-network support, and it's our role to surround our client and lead them to the resources. And that's the key why people don't succeed. It's the cornerstone of success. The keystone of success is surrounding people with the structure. And if you'll picture that you've got somebody who, in regards to health, this is in regards to health, who is literally is broken. They're broken. If they weren't broken, they would be completely healthy. Right? Their body would be amazing. Their mind would be amazing. They'd be talking positive. Why wouldn't they? And they'd be oozing health into their family and into other people's lives. But they're broken. They're broke mentally, emotionally, and physically. So they need support around them, like scaffold team. And that's our role, is to identify and then to basically put the proper support around them, not to fire hose again with too much information, but just a little bit over here and a little bit over there. I loved it, Israel. So thank you for sharing that. And it's our role to be part of a person's life like that. And it's funny, by doing that, we actually get the support we need. Yep. That is so cool. All right. So, and by the way, I didn't even know that website existed. So thank you for listening to that call and recapping that. And I'm already on it going, wow, okay, I didn't know all this was there.
I wish I knew that before. Oh my, talk with amazing information that, makes it more simplified for us to not confuse it and try to give them all that, but just say, hey, go to this.
Yeah. And it's just layering it in there when it's relevant to them. I'm just putting that up there, clientsupporttips.com. Awesome. Okay, Carrie, look forward to hearing from you.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. I had the doctor's call, and I let Alex know last night. I'm not sure how many callers were on the doctor's call because I didn't get to listen to it in person, so I went on last night and listened to the phone and got disconnected about every 3 minutes and had to start from the beginning over and over and over. So I got through 3 calls. Okay. It was done by Dr. Cheryl Childs, and she gave some pretty interesting advice, or not advice, but statistics at the beginning of the call. And that's the fact that people on statin drugs have increased BMI and they have higher intake of calories. So basically with the meds, we're teaching people to be unhealthy. The other stat that she provided was that between 2001 and 2009, there's been, for kids ages 1 to 19, there's been an increase in type 1 diabetes of about 21% and 30% of type 2 diabetes. So that means we're pretty much heading in the wrong direction, and people need help out there to get healthy and to teach their kids how to be healthy.
Hey, Carrie.
Yes.
Can I interrupt you just for a moment? Okay.
Sure.
So the reason why I'm interrupting you is because you're doing a great job, but we've got a lot of chat going on in the chat box, and it's relevant. And so I really don't want us to get distracted by that. And I want us to be able to fully hear what you're saying. But the reason why there's a lot of chat going on is because of, and I'm glad this was caught, that page, from what I'm hearing it said, is actually a health coach's page, but I'm not positive on that. So can somebody tell me, is it just because it's not Take Shape for Life branded that we're assuming that, or does it actually lead you to a health coach's page? So Sam, did you?
What I'm seeing is it doesn't have anyone's name or anything on it. It just says Client Health Tips. But if you go to pay it forward, it says Health Coach Opportunity. If you'd like to know more information on becoming a health coach, please fill out the short form below.
Yes.
Since it's not branded Take Shape for Life, it's probably not going into a pool of coaches, which we wouldn't want that to happen anyway either. So
this actually looks like one of the FIST people's pages, So this is why I wanted to stop Carrie for a moment, is because we actually
Sure.
want to send clients to this page. Okay. This is a health coach who basically created a client health tips page for themselves. And most likely they were giving an example of having supportive pages. Now, what I would say is you got to be mindful when you listen to certain calls that you just run off and do that. This is actually a really good thing that's come up, and that you run this by your business coach before you do, because if you send a client to this page, they could in essence sign up to be a coach through another health coach, which would not be cool. So what you want to know is it on your, I thought this was a Take Shape for Life page that they had created. So I'm going, that's cool. What you want to do is you want to lead people to your client support section of your page. You have a My Support section of your page that has this information. And if you wanted to, you don't have to be technologically savvy. You could create a sub page like this. So we have to be mindful of that. So you might glean some good ideas off this page, but don't send your clients to this page, okay? And business coaches, please take note of who your coaches were that might have been listening to that before they logged off. I think 5 people dropped off since Israel had said it. And so I think if you can think back who was on. All right, Carrie, now we can listen to you fully. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, anyway, like I was saying, she had 3. I got to listen to 3 of the calls. The first call was a coach that had 2 clients that developed colitis within the first 5 weeks of the program. At least that's how it started. The first person stopped the program immediately, and the second one after 5 weeks. And the first one was not diagnosed. The second one was allegedly diagnosed, but as the call went on, we find that she really did not have a biopsy. She didn't have a colonoscopy, so the diagnosis is in question. The question for Dr. Childs was obviously, does the Medifast system or our system cause colitis? Colitis is an inflammatory disease, and as everyone knows, the program reduces inflammation in the body, so it's not likely, and nor had she ever heard in 7 years and 300 coaches of any incidents of the program causing colitis. So she questioned the diagnosis. The second call was a gal that had been on the program once before and lost 100 pounds, and then she had some issues and some coaching issues and program issues and went off the program, and then came back on the program, and since February she's lost 28 pounds, and she had her gallbladder removed 10 years ago, but she's having phantom random pain where her gallbladder used to be. And so her question was, is that caused by the program? And the short story answer was that it's probably nothing but scar tissue, and that there's nothing in the program that would cause that kind of pain. Dr. Childs did advise her to go see her doctor and perhaps get an ultrasound just to relieve all her fears, because she had some fears about maybe she was getting some kind of disease or something. But it's the doctor said that it wasn't a red flag issue, and that she should just go get checked out. The third call was from a coach whose client lost about 60 pounds, and she has 40 or 50 more pounds to lose. She's got lupus, and she's had it for a lot of years, many years. And then in the last few weeks, she started getting some real bad joint pain. Went to her doctor. Her doctor's not real fond of the Medifast system, but he didn't tell her to get off of it. And her question was, does the system cause gout? And Dr. Childs advised her to give information to her client about that's in the brochure for gout about the uric acid, and perhaps she could reduce some of the things that have what's it called, purine. Some of the meats and some of the vegetables that we eat that have a lot of purine that could increase the uric acid, and for her to drink more water. And number 1, go get to a healthy weight. And check out chapter 20, because it's got a lot of information in Habits of Health. It's got a lot of information on supplements and things like that. And that's as far as I got on the call. You're muted, Alex.
Thank you. All right. What I was going to say, that's definitely enough information for us to know that the doctor's calls are valuable, that there are clients who have information. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to get and stand in between a client and their doctor. That's the key. We may not always agree with their doctor, but it is their doctor. And we want to show that respect and that support. What we do want to do is refer them to the doctor's support call. And instead of enabling the client by you calling doctor's call and asking on behalf of them because they won't do it, empower them to say, you know what, I would encourage you to call up the client services and ask to speak to a doctor, which the doctors will give information back via the email, and they will be able to communicate with somebody, or to say, hey, let's get you on the weekly doctor's call, get you in the queue, and let's ask some of these questions and see what happens. And that's what you're hearing, is you're hearing the clients and the coaches that are supporting their clients to the bio network of support. And that's really key. So very nice. Well, today's been a wonderful share, just talking to each of you. We are definitely just over our time by about 10 minutes here for the hour. We'll continue to refine. For anybody who has questions, who would like to have certain specific key things, I'll stay on for about another 10, 15 minutes here to answer any questions for those that want to. But just overall, I really see that we are moving forward as an organization, and again, organized team moving forward to help awaken intrinsic motivation in others. And I want to encourage you to invite your clients that you're starting, or even potential clients, to come on and listen to what we do as a team. And remember how that you got started was by being educated and being inspired by someone else. So bring them on just to hear. We're very transparent, very open group of people. So with that said, I want to thank you all for being here. And then does anybody else have any topics or questions or strategies that you need or actions that you need to move forward? Okay, well, I think we're good. All right, so for those of you who want to call me up privately or need some other questions, feel free to do that. I'm actually going to reach out to a couple of you now, so we'll talk to you later.